Hi, Carla.
Hi, Tia. So good to see you.
Oh, great to see you too. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Well, this is a lot of fun right before the long weekend to have time to spend with you. So thrilled to be here and really appreciative that you asked me.
Oh, of course. Well, when I think of happy leaders and positive, inspirational leaders, you immediately come to mind. So you are the perfect guest for the Arrive at Happy show. And I want to start off by asking about the industry right now. So, of course, the hospitality industry has gone through tremendous change over the past 3 years and continues to, and we could say all industries are. In your opinion, because you know I'm very passionate about happiness and well being, in your opinion, I would like to know what you think hospitality executives need to prioritize to attract and retain talent. Both, you could think of executive level, mid-level managers, and associates. Really, what you think? Because there's so many things they could focus on. What do you think they need to prioritize for attracting and retaining people right now?
Well, first of all, I think the concept of flexibility, really a theme that we heard over the last 3 years. I need to have more flexibility in my job. I need to have more flexibility in my hours. Whatever that job is, it could also be I want to do more things maybe than what I was doing. So I think for individuals recruiting hospitality leaders into the business, they've got to recognize that value of flexibility. And that's how they're going to be able to capture the best talent. But the other piece, I think, that is resonating with a lot of what I would consider the early to mid leaders in their career in
Mhm.
hospitality and what they're looking for. And they're looking for a path. They're looking for a pathway into where can I go next? And not just where can I go next, but what can I do in 5 years? What could I do in 10 years? Now, I don't think that the individual should abdicate their responsibility. It's just not the responsibility of a company
Right.
to be able to provide you with that look. But it is something that, as a large entity like Marriott, for us to demonstrate here's what you could do and really be able to share with a potential leader who wants to join the company, be able to share with them that the world is sort of your oyster, and we
Mhm.
can help you create a pathway for the next 10 years, the next 20 years. Because as you know, lots of people that have worked at Marriott have been there as very loyal leaders for a long time. And
Yes.
that's terrific. That shows you that Marriott has been able to create that path, but we need to be more overt about it in the future as we try to recruit new talent into the company.
I agree with both. Of course, everyone experienced more flexibility, and for many reasons, there's value in it, whether it be designing your week or more time with your kids or a little more time to exercise or autonomy and happiness just go together, having more control. Um and yeah, I mean, as you were talking about path, I think when I finished the University of Hawaii, a gentleman by the name of Keith Vieira, who I know you know,
Yes.
visualizing, he was like, "You want to become a general manager?" And I was like, fresh out of college, like, "You could do this. You want to become a regional?" And he just painted it very quickly with tons of passion that I was like, "Let's do it." And so, yeah, I think that's a opportunity that not only can it be a career, but it can be a calling, right? Like there's so much passion and purpose in the industry that you can help people see, and then have that ongoing professional development and learning so that it always stays fun and fresh and exciting.
Well, it is a lifestyle. And
Yes.
I think it's a lifestyle for those who get up every morning and they say, wow, what am I going to be able to do today? Because nothing is the same in the hospitality industry on a
Yeah.
daily basis. It's
Yeah.
always different. You're always going to have a different customer or a different business problem to solve, or an owner issue that you've got to resolve. And
Mhm.
that, for those people who get charged by that energy, I
Yeah.
think that that lifestyle that Keith painted for you and those opportunities, we as leaders in the hospitality industry need to always remember the power of mentorship, the power
Yeah.
of creating an aspiration for young leaders, as well as that that power of suggestion. Right? You sometimes you have to suggest it to people for them to even think that's a possibility,
Yes.
and that possibility can be far more real than as a young college student graduating from University of Hawaii that
Yeah.
you might have thought yourself.
Oh, absolutely. There were several people that at the time I felt believed in more in me than I at the time, believed in myself
Always,
and
yes.
yeah, of what you can be. So no, I absolutely agree. So, I am always looking at well-being at work research as well as the science of happiness research, happiness in personal life and work
Right.
and all of that as well. So there's Oxford University research that's showing that companies that have consistent high levels of well-being have strong firm performance. Of course, happy associates, happy team members, happy customers, the firm will grow. And with high levels of well-being that people are, and they're happy while working most of the time, and they feel meaning in their work. So I would like you to tell me about how your leadership team within Marriott measures and knows how people are doing.
Well, the formal way is we have an associate engagement survey
Yeah.
that we just took at the beginning of June. And some of our hotels are still in the process of gathering that data. So I think that's an annual touch point. But we have now started working with a partner, this new surveying company that's going to allow us to be able to talk with our associates in a a way that is far more numbered than just doing it on an annual basis. So that has just started,
Oh, that's
but
great.
typically it had been an annual survey. Now we will be able to do a touch point at certain geographies or in certain hotels, and that will be in our future. So I look forward to that because I do think that feedback is constant. It can't
Mhm.
just be static. It has to be constant. But I find that as leaders in the organization, it is our job to have that pulse that the survey tries to get at in a scientific way. We should have that pulse emotionally every single week or on a far regular basis. I can tell you during COVID, I spoke with my team every single day,
Mhm.
and and the first question that I would ask was, how's everyone doing? And it
Mhm.
wasn't really to uh, uh, I'm sure that the individuals who were on the other end, they weren't sitting there thinking, well, I'm going to tell her exactly how I'm doing. But I could also sense from the answers that people would give me, are they uh, are they well? How is their well-being? What is going on in their head? And it was
Mhm.
my job to make sure that not only was I communicating to them the incredibly important information that we were trying to process during that time, but
Yeah.
also to glean from my interactions, where might I have opportunities to support leaders more overtly. And
Mhm.
so it is, to me, it's that one part, the scientific survey that you're being able to deliver every single year. And now with us, these new touch points, but
Yeah.
also what are the leaders doing and saying and gathering. I mean, this is about gathering intel
You're right.
on a daily, weekly, monthly basis with our teams, and it has to be genuine. It has to be authentic, and it has to be meaningful to both parties, whether it's me and the other individual or me and the entire team.
Mhm. Mhm. What advice do you have for when let's say a leader does this and notices a change or notices a shift And it might not be, to your point, they might not say, oh, I'm chronically stressed, I'm not sleeping well, and my kid is this, but you can sense it with their energy. You talked about intuition. What advice do you have for leaders who sense that, you know, there's people on their team that aren't doing well right now? Because I know that you care so much and you lead with so much heart, and you also have so much experience for someone that maybe doesn't have as much as you. Yeah. What advice do you have for someone that notices, no, I don't think, you know, there's a group that's not doing well right now?
I think you have to start first with being respectful of people's privacy. So there are opportunities, and you have these conversations individually, not certainly as part of a broader group, but just to provide opportunity on a one-on-one with someone to say, I am struggling. I do feel like I need a little bit more support or help here or there. And to me, it's to provide the opportunity in a safe environment that's respectful of their privacy, and to hopefully um, uh, give them the opportunity to talk about whatever it is that's on their mind, whether
Mhm.
it's personal, professional. But for me, it's about being an objective, safe listening ear for the leader that you're concerned about.
Yeah, no, the safety piece is really key. And another reminder for everyone, because sometimes they get canceled or pushed back, of keep the one-on-ones, that to not, you know, just to, it's such sacred time. That sometimes
But
in the
it's
whirlwind
very
of work.
important. Yeah, I remember early in my career, if a leader canceled a call with me, I would sometimes think, well, maybe my issues aren't that important, or maybe, and you start to pull back a bit on what
Yes,
you want to communicate. And
yes,
I find that you have to just be religious about your commitment to others.
yes.
And if you have time scheduled, certainly you can't cancel on them at the last minute, because the feeling it leaves them with is not one that is a happy leader feeling.
One of my steps in Be a Happy Leader is prioritize relationships over to-do lists. And I love what you just said about be religious about your commitment to others. And there will
Always.
always be work. There will always be, you know, the strategies and the tactics and everything you need to do for all the stakeholders. But if you keep the commitment to your people, work will be easier, more fun, and you know, you all move forward together. So I think that's really powerful that you just said that.
Well, this whole concept of emotional availability, that's important at home, and it's really important at work as well. That
Mhm.
you're able to balance many things and many emotions as a leader. But when you're on that one-on-one where someone is maybe expressing a need for more support or help, that's when you have to be your most emotionally available.
Yeah, I agree. So you talked about, we started off and you were saying having people see a path and then realize a path within the industry. Where do you think there's the biggest need for leadership professional development within the hospitality industry?
I have thought about this question a lot, and I think there's probably many answers of skills that you need leadership development through a long career. But one of the things that I found that is so critical for a successful leader, and that's influence skills, and your ability to you can't just influence those people who report to you, because they have to report to you. But the ability to influence those that are lateral in an organization, or to be able to set up a conversation that influences senior leaders in a company, you have to be able to navigate at every single one of those levels. And the ability to influence and not dictate, or maybe not, have a different style. I would say that influence skills are key to being a strong leader and one that is viewed as successful and a valuable mentor to other young leaders. And I have been through some leadership trainings that have helped me with my ability to influence and how I set up that construct. And that would be my recommendation.
That's, yeah, it's communication and thinking about all the different types of personalities and different styles. And yeah, that's very, very valuable. Thank you for sharing that. And for anyone listening and they're thinking, oh, how influential am I? You know, it's a great, that's a great topic to bring up on your next one-on-one of, you know, you can ask your peers or stakeholders or your direct boss and see if there is an area, because it seems like this is something that you can always improve upon and grow.
Right. Well, as an influencer, I mean, think about the social media environment of influencers and what is it that they're trying to do? They're trying to sway people or educate them to come a direction that they're trying to take them. And if I was having a one-on-one with a leader, I would say, what is the last experience you've had where you were able to influence an individual to a different decision, a different outcome, and to reach alignment with the two? And it gives a cause for pause to think about where have I been that successful? And I know during my job interviews that I conduct with general managers, I do ask that question. I will ask the question of, tell me about a time where you were able to change the mind of your owner. And what was the situation? What did you do? That is a true test of your influence skills.
Right. Because at times we, you have different ideas than the owners, and that's, yeah, very, very crucial. And a minute, this is a little bit switching topic, but tied into well-being. I get asked on a regular basis about the topic of work-life balance, and I actually don't like that term at all. Arianna Huffington is using the term life-work harmony. For me, it's just all life. Like, work is a part of life, and you know, and it's not about time. It's about, you know, your values. And I don't see work as separate than life. I see it as, you know, it's one umbrella, and there's a lot that's part of life. For people that are struggling right now with work-life balance, and they have the need or maybe the internal expectation to feel like they always need to be on and can't ever step away and maybe you know, get rejuvenated. I've heard you talk on panels about how you prioritize sleep and different ways that you take care of your well-being so that you can be this incredible leader. What advice do you have for people and leaders that are struggling with this right now?
Certainly, I'm no guru at this, and I would not say that I have perfected whatever title you want to put on work-life balance. I
I
have
don't
not
think there
perfected
is
it.
a perfection of work-life
There,
balance. I think it's,
there is
yeah,
not.
no.
I was thinking about this in relationship to another panel that I've been on where they were asking, you know, what advice would you give your younger self? And I would say, you know, as my younger self, I always thought I could have it all. And my older self, I say, well, you might be able to have it all, but not at the same time. For me, it's about the intention of knowing that there is more that you want to do in a day or in a week. And whether it's about work or it's about your outside activities, the things you do to take care of yourself, or it's about your home life, whatever it is, there needs to be an intention that you have about how you're going to address it. And certainly I've had lots of intentions. That's like your New Year's resolution. However, it still draws you back to a commitment. It still draws you back to a purpose and what it is that you want to achieve. And without the intention, that's kind of the starting place. I
Mhm.
think it's really difficult to ever find whatever that balance is that's perfect for you. But
Mhm.
the perfection probably needs to be eliminated from our vocabulary and
Yes.
just say, I'm going to continue to try to be better every single day at it. But start with your intention.
Start with your intention. And your intention can change, your intention can evolve, and depends on what's going on in your life, in your career,
Right.
at the time too. So would you say that this is an exercise, whether they do it with a colleague or a friend or their boss, or even pen to paper in a journal, and to reflect on what are my intentions? What is really valuable to me? What do I want to do? And then look at alignment with calendar. Is that, and
Oh,
kind of I think of how is this in
I'm a
like
calendar
practical?
fiend.
What?
I'm a calendar fiend.
Me
I
too.
do think that it is about that intention, and not for everyone. You may find that you don't like writing in a journal, or that you have a different way of communicating it with a colleague or a friend. But somewhere that gives you some accountability of, I read it, so I need to do it, or I talked about it, so I need to address it. It's really just about top of mind and creating a muscle memory for yourself that says, my intention today was to go home and have a great spin on the Peloton. Uh, but, and maybe you do it, maybe you don't. But you had the good intention, and tomorrow will be another opportunity.
I like that. And you're talking about, rituals and habits and self-compassion, because no one's going to be perfect and do the Peloton every single day at 6. If you have this lifestyle of you're in hospitality, or you're a busy entrepreneur like I am with little kids, that there's things that are not going to happen, and to talk kindly to yourself and try again the next day.
Now, I think this whole be kind to yourself, and that's where will find the joy and the optimism that kind of will propel you through the days where you don't get on the Peloton at 6 o'clock.
Right, right. Yes, absolutely. Um, so when you think about what's going on for the rest of this year, and I know you were thinking a lot about probably, the next few years as well. What is something that you're excited about? Think about your job and your career.
I feel like we are still in somewhat of a COVID recovery, trying to get back to business as usual.
Right.
I am very excited to find our way back to business as usual, and I think it's happening. It's not
Yes.
happening in every single geography in my market, but it's happening, and it will happen in those markets that are continuing to be sluggish in the recovery. So I never would have thought that I'd be excited about business as usual, but after the last 3 years, I'll take a dose of that.
Yes. Yes. Well, understandable. Well, Carla, thank you so much for coming on the show. You provided lots of wisdom, and it's always inspirational talking to you. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. So much fun.